To me, it was just a natural move. With the Democrats in control for the last 2 years, I chaired the committee with a 4-4 split, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats. Now with the Republican coalition in charge, the committee's made up of 4 Democrats and 3 Republicans. So in some ways, as far as the Democratic side of the aisle, we got a better deal, but also we'll continue to work in a very bipartisan fashion on that committee. And it's about agriculture, developing the economies in rural Washington that continue to struggle, especially during the recession as we pull out of it. And anything I can do to be able to help shepherd bills, whether it's dealing with water, dealing with ag research, or just dealing with bills similar to the biomass bill last year. If we can find areas where the government can either help or get out of the way for rural businesses, we're going to be successful there. So I think having the gavel extremely important, and certainly not a political statement. Well, I think, again, hope to bring a moderating voice, a kind of a friendly, maybe not always so friendly voice from the middle to the discussions, where it's one side basically saying, well, we need to find revenue, we need to find money. I in part agree with that. The courts have mandated more spending there, but basically, there are those that argue whether they can mandate that to the legislature, but whether we want to continue to argue about that or not, it is the state Supreme Court's decision. There are those on the other side that say no, it needs to be continue to push reform. Again, I partially agree with that, and I think hopefully there's enough of us in the middle that will stand up and say we need both. We need to seriously look at not just throwing money at the problem, even though we do need to come up with the funds. We know that early childhood learning, for example, is successful. So funding the younger grades, it is going to pay off. All-day kindergarten has been proven. It is going to pay off. So let's get the money where we know it already works. But at the same time, let's just not give in basically and write a blank check before we look at some of the reforms that are necessary and continue on those and make them work. We've asked principals to be held accountable for their schools, for example, but now they're coming back and asking for more legislation that gives them, if they're going to be held accountable, some more flexibility over hiring and firing decisions and things. So, and those are tough for, I think, some of the long and strong labor groups in the state that have the position that we need to support our teachers. We do, but we also need to keep that balanced with with results. And so when we're looking at McCleary, at all education funding, former majority leader, now Democratic leader, Ed Murray has said he wants to see not just funding, but results as well. Agriculture was one of the few bright spots during the recession, and so I think as we can continue to promote our products, not just around the country, but around the world, that the ag is going to continue to grow. As a committee chair who works with some of the natural resources committees and on agriculture, environmental issues, it's important to be able to have a strong voice as we continue to monitor ocean acidification, for example, and issues over the use of our coasts, marine spatial planning. Who's been there? Our crab fishermen, certainly, some of the tourist activities that have gone on, and now as new uses want to come in, folks talking about wave and wind power out in the ocean. They need to realize that, hey, there's some user groups that have been there long before you, and those those uses need to be first in line, similar to water that the committee deals with as well. And so I think we're in a good position there to again have the gavel, have the committee, and chime in as a strong voice for rural Washington. I have bills that I've prime sponsored dealing with milk and milk products, dealing with water, which is always always contentious and always extremely important to everybody in the state. I haven't gone and started writing my own bills or a long list of bills like a lot of senators and representatives you see running around early on in session and asking people to sign on. It's mainly kind of trying to focus in on the committee. Again, what are the priorities? Certainly with the shakeup of the Senate, there's going to be less legislation going forward this year. So, the top priorities certainly are the budget, are the McCleary decision. After that, though, of course, every committee is going to have bills. And like I mentioned, whether it's dealing with how we can help the farms, how the state can, like again, as I always like to say, either help or get out of the way. Dealing with milk, dealing with water, dealing with responding to some of the forest fires that we've had, to some of the flooding that we've had. So maybe not necessarily in the way of bills, but in the way of operating and capital budget requests as well. The roadkill as it was is probably became roadkill, but we joke we can caucus now in my 2004 Hyundai as we as we drive down the road. But we are rebuilding now, and even though we lost Senator Tom, who was a vital and active member of our group, you still have a dynamic where there was going to be 26 Democrats and 23 Republicans. Now it's 25 from a majority coalition and 24 Democrats. The middle is still going to be very critical, and so we've worked with some new members, some more senior members that are now maybe interested in coming back towards the middle on the Senate side. Certainly, we've still got a few friends in the House as well, and I think you might see us, trying to lose that roadkill name. I don't know if the press is ever going to let us get rid of it, but we are moderates. We've tried to use moderate. We've even tried to use the name Main Street Caucus. And I think Main Street maybe more accurately reflects where we are. And I can even kid Rodney Tom, who is still a friend. We just don't work as closely together. But I don't think there's a Main Street in Medina. What we may see that's different is just the bills that make it out of the Rules Committee and that come up on the Senate floor for a vote. There may be some differences there. However, the margin is the slimmest, 25-24. So, and you still need 25 votes. You need 25 votes to stop a bill. You need 25 votes to pass a bill. So, in that respect, not a lot has changed. The members, which I appreciate, have to work together. You're still going to have to cross the aisle. Whether a couple of Democrats have blurred those aisles by siding with the Republicans this year or not, you're still going to have to find coalitions and groups that are going to move forward to be able to stop legislation that you oppose or pass things that you champion. And once again, I think that's where our Main Street group can play a critical role. And already we're seeing folks from labor, from the business community, come and wanting to talk to us, share their thoughts, and see how we can work with them. Again, we're not the strong, loud voices on the right or the left of the political spectrum, but I think we're hopefully the voice of working together and maybe the voice of more common sense that can find the compromise on a lot of these issues as they make their way through the House and Senate and to the governor's desk.